What is brewing, everybody? I'm Bren,
I'm Kiki.
and this is an exciting day because it's episode 1. The beans are brewed.
The mics are set. Numero uno. Let's go.
Is books over beans. Episode 1 is exciting because we went bold with our book choice to start, and we will get more into that later.
Yes.
But we need that feel good energy to start. So we are going to start with our very first segment called Chit Chat. And Chit Chat will always begin with what's in our mug. What's in your mug, Kiki? What's in my mug?
Well, today we got a little taste test going on. We are proud partners with Creo's Coffee. Deliciously smooth coffee infused with essential vitamins and plant-based superfoods. I'm feeling on top of the world today with this Creo's.
It's really good.
It's really good. Like,
it's so good.
It's strong, but in the best way.
Yeah.
It's not too strong. It's just right.
I love that. One of the things with the coffee brand is that it has all the good stuff that you need.
Yes.
It has all the feel good energy, nutrients, things like that.
Vitamins,
superfoods. But it has that anti-jittery feeling.
Yes.
So especially when you're digging into a good book, you need that focus. And this coffee does the trick. So love it. Big fan.
Yeah. With Creos, you can elevate your focus, boost your energy, and heighten your mood with every cup. So you should elevate your day with Creos. And guess what, Bren?
What's up, Kiki?
We have a code.
Can you even believe that on episode 1, we have a code?
Shout out to Creos. We have a code. So if you want to elevate your day with Creos, you can visit www.creos.com and use the code BOOKSOVERBEANS for 15% off. 15!
That's really good. Really, really good.
Yep.
I'm excited. Thank you, Creos Coffee, for letting us have a taste here, a taste test, and for giving us life. We love it.
Yes. And let me show the blend, because the blend matters. Essentials blend. Yep. Everything you need to elevate your day. Creos Coffee, you know where to find it, and you know what code to use.
Love it.
Don't say we didn't tell you so. Tell you so.
We are telling you so. So
we're telling
you. We are ready to dive into episode 1. We've got the good stuff. Like we said, the beans are brewed. We use that nice hot French press today.
Oh, yes.
We are.
Shout out to John.
Shout out John for the French press, changing my coffee game. Like I said, bold like the coffee. We went bold with the book choice.
Oh, hell yeah.
And French press.
Excuse my French press. I hope the mics pick up.
We are goofballs. Just let's get that out of the way now.
First things first, we're goofballs at heart.
This is what Chit Chat is about.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I love it. We're getting it out now so we can get to the nitty gritty.
Yes. Can we just reveal the book? Because I'm getting
All right. So we went bold. So bold.
Bold like Creos.
But we chose this book because we feel that it's a book a lot of you have probably read.
Yes.
Or have been wanting to read and didn't want to dip right into this genre right away.
Yes.
A lot of reasons. But again, it's going to give a lot of us things to talk about. And engaging with you is just as important as the conversation that we have at the pod.
Yes.
So without further ado, Kiki, you want to do the honors?
Yes. Oh my God, I've been waiting for this. Okay. This is not going to be as...
Woo! It scared me.
Sorry. Yep.
So
here she is.
Book.
I need to watch this table.
Book Spotlight number 1, episode 1. We have ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And I just have to say, before we really deep dive, I absolutely loved this book. And I can't wait to talk about it with you, Kiki.
Yes, I'm excited. You know what? This was like my actual first ever dive into fantasy. Like, I didn't even read Harry Potter when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a crime, but I didn't. So I'm like, I got a lot to say.
I'm so glad.
Yes.
I have a lot to say. It wasn't really my official first deep dive into fantasy. I do a lot of like just a little bit about me. I do a lot of like tabletop gaming that really take place in the fantasy world,
Right.
like D&D and stuff. But I loved the story building in this book. But
Yes.
we will get into that. So we revealed the book. We have a few more housekeeping items to get out of the way, but we are ready to chit chat about this book.
Yep.
Still being in the chit chat segment though.
Yes.
We are really excited to be in this pod. We're going to talk about some hot takes. We're going to discuss some current events. We're going to do all the things.
Yes.
This is a passion project first and foremost. So that stuff is just as important to us as, talking about the book.
Yes.
So we might share things that caught our eye on Book Talk. So, or online or Goodreads or whatnot, what's on our TBR list. But
that'll be a good segment. I got a lot to say about my TBR list.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot to read.
So
we want to talk about the giveaway?
That's what I was just going to ask you.
Talk about the giveaway.
Okay.
So if you don't know, now you know. We're doing a giveaway. We've teamed up with Creole's Coffee to bring you the ultimate literary and caffeine fix. So let's get to what you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna win? A fresh bag of Creole's Coffee infused with essential vitamins and plant-based superfoods. One copy of Bren's pick of the week. So should we roll into it?
Yeah. So my pick of the week, which I love this author. I love this author so much. My pick of the week is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison.
Yep.
That springtime energy. We got the grumpy farmer, the no-nonsense social media influencer, and they have another chance at love. So I'm not going to share anymore, but it is a part of the Love Light Farms series. So if you have not read Love Light Farms, that is A-okay. You do not need to do them in sequential order. But I read Love Light Farms around Christmas this year, and I fell in love with BK's writing. Super sweet, super light, super dynamic character relationships. So I am really excited to read more about the two protagonists in this book.
And you can read about it too if you win our giveaway, or you can do it without our giveaway. Fine, whatever.
So we aren't here to tell you what to do.
Don't listen to us.
No, actually,
do listen to us. Please do listen to us. Okay, all right. So my pick for this giveaway and for the week, and it's on my radar, is also by B.K. Borison. I have actually never read any of her novels, so I'm really excited because my good friend and cousin here and sister told me that I would love it. So here we go. Mixed Signals. It's about Layla Dupree, who has straight up given up on love until she falls into a bashful man and teacher, and that all changes. That's all I got to say.
We love those teachers.
And we sure do. And you also get three custom Books Over Beans bookmarks. So if you want to win, all you got to do is follow us, Books Over Beans, and Creole's Coffee. Tag your 3 go-tos when you need us to spill the beans. And for an extra entry, share this post to your story. The post will be linked below. And that's all we got for the giveaway.
We love it.
Yep. And it ends next Thursday.
Good luck, everybody.
April 4th. Good luck.
You're going to love our social media. It's so beautiful.
It makes me really happy.
It is so aesthetic. Okay.
And there's so much more to come. Anyway.
All right. Transitioning to our main segment.
Drum roll, please.
Spilling the Beans Spotlight Series, A Court, Thorns, and Roses.
Let's get straight into it.
ACOTAR for short. Let me just start by saying this book is like literally, as Chris Traeger would say, literally. This book is literally
Bay Parks and Rec fans over here.
Changed my life.
Literally.
It has
literally. You get it?
Hooked. Yes. That's why I began that. See, you already get me.
I bang get you, girl.
I
got you.
I love this book because it was a lot of world building. It brought me into it's I mean, anytime you start a new series, it could go either way. You could be like, I
Yeah.
absolutely love this, or I'm like, ooh, I don't see that I could commit to this full time. We are not in a committed relationship. I am in a full time committed relationship with ACOTAR. Full time. I'm actually, full disclosure, reading these books out loud with my current partner.
Period.
Shout out John.
Shout
He
out
helped with the
John.
audio.
French press,
He
John.
helped with the French
French
press.
John.
Now he got me into the fantasy world even more than I
Yes.
was. And we're reading this book together. So we, you know, again, I'm not like perfectly well versed. So raise your hand if you had to Google what certain things were to paint an accurate depiction in your mind.
Both of my hands are up.
Both
And
hands
my
up.
feet.
I'd be like, what's that? He'd be like, oh, that's actually.
I had to look up about everything in there because I was like, I hadn't like the cauldron. I was like,
We
what do they
appreciate
mean?
we appreciate the dedication that you gave.
Yeah. I had my yeah. I always
So
had a tab open.
overall feelings about the book. Loved it. Cannot wait to see what comes next, though.
Oh yeah, there's more coming. There's more brewing.
Absolutely.
There's a storm brewing.
Brewing. Absolutely is.
There is a hot pot
brewing. So to kind of like before we kind of get into like the likes, the dislikes, the comparisons, the connections, I'm gonna say a character's name, and Kiki, you're gonna just tell me how you felt, and then I'll share the same.
Okay.
And if you want to jump in at any point and name a character that I didn't yet,
Okay.
or we can go back and forth, totally cool. So I'm not the only one like just throwing characters at you, putting you on the spot first.
Want to do like every other?
Sure. Okay. So I'm gonna start. Feyre.
I like her. She grew on me.
Yeah.
I feel like big changes are coming for her. I mean, they did at the end of the book. You know what I mean? Even bigger changes in the next. Yeah. All right. T-Man, Tamlin. Oh, sorry, I forgot to give you your take. Sorry.
Feyre to me.
T-Man.
Let's just ask SJM what she feels about you calling T-Money.
T-Money. I didn't even say T-Money. You took it there. I said T-Man. I gave him the grace of the High Lord.
I mean,
I just hit my tooth on this. That's my bad tooth, too. Anyways, continue, Feyre.
The coffee makes you extremely happy.
Yes. They said mood booster, full shizzle.
I am a lot happier than I was an hour ago.
Yeah, we were stressed an hour ago, but
anyway,
is elevating our mood. Like I said, books over beans, 15% off. Go get your coffee. Go get it.
All right, Feyre. For me, she was incredibly infuriating to begin. She would flip so quickly, but I think that's like the beauty of her character, though, is because she really does make you feel like you are just a human in the trenches with her. True. We are imperfect beings, and she had imperfect thought patterns. She didn't trust what her mind was telling her. She didn't trust her mind didn't trust what her gut was telling her. She'd be really accepting of something one minute, and then the next she'd be really angry about it. And I think that just absolutely shows just like the human emotion spectrum, the window of tolerance. I do feel like praise her for her strength.
Yeah.
She was like invincible.
Yeah.
Like quite literally.
Yeah.
I feel like a piece of garbage.
Wow.
Because my pain tolerance is not high. And she's going through all these trials. She's going in the forest and taking down wolves.
Yeah.
She's facing fairies with these like don't mess with me kind of attitude.
That's my thing. Like
she was brave and she had a high pain tolerance. Like her at one point her like bone was sticking out of her arm and she's just like,
yeah. She's just working through it.
This is really hard. I hope someone comes and helps me. But
I know.
I was just like, girl, I would have said, thank you for joining me in these trials today. See you later. The human experience has been very kind. Goodbye.
Yeah. I can't believe she did all that as a human. Like, if that's what she did as a human in a fairy world, in a high fae world, what is she going to do as a high fae?
I know.
That's why I'm like.
Right. Spoiler alert, spill the beans means we talk all things book. So if you have not read this book,
skip to the next segment.
So sorry.
Or you can listen
Sorry.
if you want. It's like an audiobook summary kind of.
Yeah. And I do understand it's a fictional story. But like she was badass. That's just the easiest way for me to summarize her.
Yeah. Simply.
And she grew on me too. She was hard to like, I was kind of frustrated. I'd like stop the book and I'd be like, Vera, really? Girl,
what are you doing?
But then I was kind of like, maybe that was on purpose because by the end, by the end, I don't like Tamlin.
Yeah. And you know what? Sarah did a great job of like playing with the reader's head through the characters, through Farah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone liked her in the beginning, and we were all very indifferent about her throughout the novel. But then you get to the end and you're like, okay, Farah, I see you.
Yeah. Farah was.
All right. Can we go on to the T-Man? Because now I'm itching.
Yeah, I've T-Money.
T-Money.
I don't like him.
T-Man. Yeah. Can't be trusted.
I felt that from the moment I started reading. It was just like, at first I was like, oh, he's likable. He's really strong. He's very patient with her. But then as more kept happening, the warning bells and red flags just kept getting like louder and more red for me.
Yeah. It started off as like a light crimson, and then all of a sudden it was.
Loving him was red.
Yeah. I'd say.
I don't know. I feel like also too, it really made me feel like when I was reflecting and making personal connections, she was giving and giving and giving, and he was a taker.
Yeah.
And even when
taker,
and even when they were under the mountain, I feel like he was just too blank about it all. I don't know. And I know he was probably bewitched or whatever, but like, I just feel like she would go to the ends of the earth for him. And I never felt convinced he'd do the same for her, even though he said he would.
Yeah.
Like, he let her go really easily. He knew the what was at stake. He didn't push anything further.
Yeah. He didn't even let her know.
And I think their love story built in a unique way.
Yeah.
And I think that by the time we got to the end of the book, who they were together worked fine in the ways that it did work.
Right.
But now that they have gone through this like really tragic thing together and trying to free the high fae world in Prithian, I just don't see them lasting outside of their relationship now that this has occurred. Like, I made a comment when we talked about this book together before that it reminded me of those relationships where you get together, you break up, you get together, you break up, and it's never the same after. Like, there's still, even through all the work, and I'm not discrediting that it can't work.
Right.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
But it made me feel in my personal feelings, like in my personal connections, like things just never were the same again.
Yeah, I feel like their vase has been shattered, and it's like gluing those pieces together is going to be a challenge. And it's like, I think there's going to be a lot of sharp edges that are going to cut them. Yeah. If that makes sense.
I don't know if there's like full trust either. I just don't know if they like meet each other.
Yeah. True that. Yeah. Well, it's your turn next. Sorry.
Yes. So, yes, it's my turn. I'm going to introduce this character in the voice that John and I gave him while we were reading.
Let's hear it.
Sarah! What the hell do you think you're doing? That's Lucian.
I can't even lie. In the beginning of the book, I kept getting Tamlin and Lucian confused because it's like they're both 5 letters, they're both and they're both weird names. No offense, Sarah, but I'm like, you know what I mean?
Fantasy names.
Yes, I know, but I like the other.
I love Lucian. One of my favorite characters.
Me too.
Honestly, I pictured him spiky red hair in like the glass crazy eye contraption that like Professor Moody had in Harry Potter, which I know I've looked at the fan art. That's not how the rest of the world sees him, but I am still sticking with that image. Next character, Nesta.
I actually really, at first I hated her. I mean, who didn't?
Right.
You know, hate is a strong word. I disliked her.
Hate is a strong word, but I really, really, really don't like it.
But I I like who she's becoming, and I think that she's gonna have a very impactful future in the rest of the series.
Mhm.
And yeah.
When T Money Tamlin sent Feyre back home and Nesta was acting like really sus,
Yeah.
I was really nervous at first on what she saw. I was
Yeah.
really nervous about what had happened to her. I was like, she's like in the distance, she's really cold. She's looking at Feyre really suspiciously.
Yeah.
I was really nervous. I was like, what happened to her? And then to find out, full circle moment, she like chased after her and like wanted to go save Feyre. I thought that that was beautiful. And
Yes.
the relationship that they now have formed, even though they're separated by the wall,
Yes.
can't wait to see what happens with her because I know we're not done with her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's gonna play an integral role in the rest of the series. I mean,
And I think talking about like an integral like role,
yeah.
good on her for being open and accepting Feyre of loving Tamlin,
Right.
considering that they have a complicated relationship. That just goes to show that they were both able to, both girls who've
Yeah.
been through the same kind of hardships in their own ways, different perspectives of those hardships, of their father, of their relationships within their family dynamic. Like, good on her for kind of forming her own perspective.
Yeah.
Both of them challenged what they had been forced and told all of those years, which I
Yeah.
thought was really good.
In their own way too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to the big one. Not a character.
Not a character, but the setting. Prithian.
Interesting place. Interesting place.
Yeah.
I really love like the different courts. Like that's
really
probably
cool
like
concept.
yes. It's like honestly like so cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really love that. And I think we can like honestly tie that to real life, like just in different places you go, even in the United States, like every place you go, no matter it's Buffalo, it's Boston, like wherever it is, it has its own elements. And she hit that home in Prithian with the summer court, the spring court, and all their different elements. Um, I'm interested to see how that's going to build out a little bit more because I think that we know very limited about these court stories, like what's in their past and the meaning behind them all. We know very little in the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that one's going to build out. But I really dig Night Court so far.
Mm-hmm. I think, although it's fantasy and there's a lot of different world building in this to fit the premise of the books, a lot of diversity amongst the Fae communities. Lots of honoring of different like celebrations and festivals, which I took as like a take from like a twist on like that being a thing in real world.
Right.
She did a really good job, like despite what court they were from, they all had different views of those roles and duties and perspectives of their roles in this world. Setting building in terms of like landscaping and like painting a picture with her words.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I just read some of the most beautiful landscapes and settings.
I loved the painting element.
Like that, and like I mean, like too, just I felt like I was watching a painting while reading. And I really appreciate that I was listening to somebody read some of the time went by reading that with John, because I was able to like close my eyes and really do the world building myself through her words.
That's beautiful.
Like the starlit like lake.
Oh my gosh. See, like I just love it.
The abilities, the unique abilities and all the thought it must have taken for her to match those people and those characters with their court. Just really unique, beautiful prose in that. Like, I really enjoyed that, and how I thought it was kind of funny, like the rivalries, like they don't settle disagreements through words, they did it through action, and everybody had a villain. Like everybody had a feeling about somebody somewhere, and I think that that just mirrors tales as old as time with that, and faultiness of men.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't mean like males specifically. I mean
like humankind.
yeah, I mean, even though they were higher beings and immortal, they had a lot of flawed thinking and feeling.
Yeah, and I think it was really interesting that they were like part beast. Like
Yes,
the
yeah.
claws came out, or their beastly traits like came out at certain times, and I think it
Mhm.
was interesting how she reflected that through the claws on Tamlin, like how they would,
Claws out.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they would almost like sometimes they were completely out, sometimes they were like nearing. It was just really interesting, and that was something that like stuck with me. I was like, oh,
It
this is really interesting
it
because we as human beings, like sometimes we can be beastly, like when we're not as patient, when we're not as kind.
reactive.
Yes, and they she depicted that so well through Tamlin, I think the most.
Mhm.
But it's just very
I think
interesting.
he was definitely, I think, to build off of what you're saying, he was like the epitome of projecting something different than what actually you're feeling inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I think he has a lot going on for him, and he had clearly did not pick this duty and this life for himself, and he
Yeah.
had, seen some really ugly stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he wanted to be, and I think at his core in some ways he was accepting and patient, but he was very reactive and very like protective and angry at the same
Yeah.
time. So,
And he tried to mask it all, literally. Well, he didn't try to mask it, but
well, they had their masks
I
on.
know the masks was so interesting to me too.
Which
And
I still keep reflecting on that, if there was, like, an underlying reason, if that meant something more, why just that court? I know they had the ball and there was, like, a whole event
the
around it,
masquerade,
but
yeah.
I just wonder if there was, like, I would love to know other people's thoughts on that, like, if there was a
Yeah.
deeper meaning behind
Like,
that.
what's your take on that? The masks.
Yeah.
I was kinda shocked that the mask came off before this book. I was kind of expecting that later on in the
Mm,
series, so I'm interested to see how that'll progress.
mhm. I think it gave Feyre some build up in her head to make him into something he maybe wasn't.
Yeah.
Even though she expected him to look like how he looks, I think there was
Yeah.
a mythical element to him, like, almost, like, unattainable. He was higher than me, he was different,
Yeah.
and with the mask off, you're equal now.
Yeah, and some
Like,
type
there's
of,
no mystery.
yes, that's what I was gonna say, yes, it was, like, such
Mhm.
a mystery for so long, and I think, like, that's, like, that just speaks true to, like, love. Like, it's
Yeah.
like a mystery in the beginning, you know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
you live in that, bubble.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the honeymoons
Honeymoon stage,
that's
yeah.
very real, and then, like, you get into the nitty-gritty, and it's all still a mystery,
Yeah,
you know what I
I
mean?
I saw this quote actually today, and it was something, and I'm gonna paraphrase it 'cause or else I'll mess it up completely, but it was something about, like, it's impossible to know. I think it was something like, "It's impossible to know when you first meet someone if they're even gonna be compatible with you because we have expectations on how we think we deserve and should feel love,
Yeah,
but we tend to continue to choose people that we're comfortable accepting,
yeah,
and we don't challenge ourselves or challenge other people to meet the needs we know we deserve. We'll continue to settle on the things we know we need to be fulfilled in love."
uh-huh,
Um, and I felt like that maybe with her, like, she kept like, she had a bad schema about herself, so she was like, this first opportunity, someone that's higher, someone this handsome, someone this is
yeah,
like, I need to attain to him, I need to reach, I would go to the end of the world for you, and I think he almost saw that I could keep my her under my thumb a little. I don't know.
yeah. I can see that for sure.
Anyway, that was a connection that maybe I made, maybe I just totally missed the mark, but it reminded me what you just said, so,
No, yeah, I'm with you on that.
um I think that this going into the characters, I think that's really opened up Keek a lot of the, like, likes and dislikes that
Yeah.
we had.
Honestly, I
Do
feel like,
you have anything outside of that, though, that you feel like we didn't touch on that you really liked or didn't like?
no, honestly, the courts was, like, the biggest thing for me. I loved that part of it, that
Yeah.
element, and I can't wait to, like, discover more about the other
Yeah.
courts other than spring.
Yeah. Spring is my
Um,
least favorite season, just
yeah,
saying that.
yeah.
So, I'm, like, ready to see some night court.
Summer and night core are, like, what I'm into. I mean,
And as much as it's messed up, I wanna see what's going down in Autumn Court. Like, those
yeah,
like, Lucian's brothers are, like, a trouble.
yeah.
Yeah, I wanna know what's gonna go down
And then
there.
dusk and dawn. We
Mhm.
don't know nothing about that right now.
No, we do not.
Um, alright. Should we head right into the hits different segment? 'Cause I'm ready for that. I'm ready for these
Mhm.
quotes.
I will say, tons
Yes.
of I know that this is not unknown knowledge, but as far as another connection, the only thing I was going to say is it made me feel like I got brought back to Beauty and the Beast in Twilight in times.
Yes. Yep.
Like,
I
the
didn't
turning into different being,
yeah.
like, forbidden love almost,
Yep.
2 different worlds.
Fatal
Yeah,
Attraction type
yeah,
of
yeah,
vibes.
yeah. So I'm just gonna say that and we'll move on. Um, Yeah, you can go for it.
Moving on to hits different.
It hits different.
It sure does. This is where we'll share our favorite quotes from the book.
No surprise, I have more than one because brevity is not my strong suit.
I have more than one too. Don't worry, Bryn.
You want to go first?
No. I need to get my book. Remember, I have them in here.
Okay.
Go first.
Sure, I'll go first. One of the most profound things that T Money Tamlin said.
T Money. I can't believe we're sticking with that.
Should I do it in my character voice that John and I did?
For Tamlin?
Oh yeah, I have one for every character.
Okay, yeah, go ahead because I'm interested. I want to hear if it's like the same one as
me. Okay. Lots of pressure. If I don't get this right, forgive me. Don't feel bad for one moment about doing.
That's exactly what I thought of mine.
He had this very deep monotone.
So serious.
So don't feel bad for one moment about doing what brings you joy, Feyre.
I love it.
I added the Feyre, but very good. Don't feel bad for one moment about doing what brings you joy.
I love it.
Hits different.
I need you to go next again because
okay.
I don't know where mine is. I bookmarked
Perfect.
the page, though.
Perfect. Yeah, I can. So what I loved with, I mean, it's no secret. We know there's something going on between her and Rhys. When they had that really heart to heart in the dungeon, when he said the line, I'll do it in my Rhys voice after I say it because I really want to get this right. Pity those who don't feel anything at all. And I think she has two people that care about her, basically mirroring the same thing without having big feelings and all of those things. Joy is a really big feeling. So he says, pity those who don't feel anything at all. He's very like milky smooth to me in my head. I'm not doing that. John does that really, really well. Maybe we'll do a guest segment and have him come on and do voices.
Yes, but with the French press.
Pity those who don't feel anything at all. That was Rhys.
That was good.
I loved that one. Do you want me to go again?
No. You have 3?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And then the last one. We need hope or else we cannot endure. And I think those 3 things just hit different for me because as someone who's gone through things, grief, loss, and just overall challenges that I'm sure all of us have faced one time or two in our lives. If you do not have hope, it's so hard for all of those other big feelings and big moments to come after, right? Yes. Even in the dark days, you need to try your best, or I feel like I've tried my best at least to find hope. And without hope, I cannot endure not only the hard times, but I also can't accept the joy. I can't accept the big feelings that come up. So I thought those 3 quotes really mirrored each other and were coming at Feyre in completely different perspectives from different people. And so, I really gravitate towards those kinds of underlying, relatable, big feeling, big moment quotes.
Yes.
They hit different for Bren.
Big energy.
Hit different.
There's just so much energy. Those do hit different.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry that I was so distracted here by my book. Well, I had 2, but I'm not sure where the other crease went in my pages. We need to get those flags because
I got them today.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to get some because I can't. Okay, so this is one that I really like. I would never be able to capture that. Never be able to paint the feel and taste of him. No matter how many times I tried, no matter how many colors I used. Hits different. Just hits different.
What do you like about that quote?
I love it because it's so real. Like when you really feel that type of way about someone, you can't put it in words. You can't put it in colors. You can't put it in brushstrokes. Like it's just not possible. And I feel like that goes back to the fatal attraction between the 2 of them. And I was just like, wow, that's like powerful. And I loved the whole painting theme.
Yeah.
I like that those were my favorite parts of the book.
I loved that too, just because it's something that she finally accepted was a unique gift for her and like a lifeline in a way.
Yes.
And I also loved that she could not read, she could not write, but she was extremely artistic. And I really liked that she highlighted such a strong dynamic person who you might expect to be perfect in all of these other ways. She was imperfect.
Right.
But she was extremely talented and gifted in other ways. And I think that's important even for everyday people. Like, we cannot all do the same things, but we are equally as gifted and special and unique and entitled to love and good things. And we all have our hardships. So I loved that too, that whole painting theme in the book.
Oh my
Agreed.
God.
So
I love it. And I hope it continues like throughout the whole series, because that honestly was like so, it was incredible to me.
And I think that quote, it does hit different because I just feel like sometimes you have these once in a lifetime experiences and feelings that are either unique to an event or people. And it's just like, you have to close your eyes and be like, this is one of those moments.
Yep.
And
It's like
I love that she paused and
Yeah.
reflected on that. Yeah.
Yes.
Because she wasn't always this super reflective person.
No.
So it was a big admittance for her.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know where my other quote is, but I'll be more prepared for next time with
No
some
worries.
flags.
Love it. Overall drinkability is our next segment where we're going to give you our rating of this book. So Kiki, I'm going to let you go first. What is your overall drinkability? We'll do 1 star out of 5.
1 star or 1 bean?
Whatever you want to do.
I'd give it 4 beans.
4 beans out of 5 beans?
4 beans out of 5 beans. Definitely a lot of world building, so that made it a little difficult for me to understand at first and get into at first. But once I was in, and I'm ready for the next.
Yeah, I'm gonna also agree. I'm gonna give it a 4 beans out of 5 rating. Also, a lot of stuff I liked about the book, a lot of things I liked about the characters, but the cliffhanger it left us on and my feelings about all of these different characters. I'm excited more so to see what happens next.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's usually how a first book works.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward to seeing the dynamics of all of these characters in this place change now that this big looming threat is gone, but there's still more to come.
There's so much more to come.
And there's more we're gonna meet from people too. Or Fae, I should say.
Do you have any like predictions for A Court of Mist and Theory that you'd like to share?
I think we're gonna be spending a lot more time in the night court.
And I'm so down with that. I'm trying to get in the night court.
Meet me at midnight.
Yes.
Da-na-na-na-na.
And you know what?
Da-na-na-na-na.
Forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I break out into song a little bit.
It's perfectly fine.
Like, it just gives me midnight era vibes. Like,
it does.
Lavender,
Starlit
Moonstone.
Lake. Oh, come on, yes.
Oh,
Starlit Lake. I'm so into the Starlit Lake. Like, I want to jump in the Starlit Lake right now. Like, swim in
that's in the spring court, girl. That means you gotta stay there.
I don't know.
Go to the night court with me.
I do, but I want to go swimming. All right, I'll dip into the spring lake, jump out, spring out into the night court, have the moonlight glowing on me or something.
There you go. It'll let you see things lighter for a minute, and then you'll get ready for like the best experience of your life.
Okay, I just can't wait to be in the night court.
So, good segue, because I think that's what's coming. Do you have any predictions, Keek?
War.
Yeah. There's gotta be. I mean, the next book's even thicker.